Sooners. Hey, listen, fuck the Eagles. I hate the Eagles. Don't get me wrong here.
First quarter, keep it even. Second quarter, start running the fucking ball. Third quarter, take a power nap. Fourth quarter, oh shit, there's the rest of the game. Let's go.
Fuck it, I'm a diabetic. I will root for the team that will literally give me diabetes and death. Rooting for a team from Hershey is like a Catholic rooting for Satan. It doesn't make any sense.
This is Stay Tuned Sports, and it starts in 3, 2, 1.
And hello there, all you Stay Tuners. Welcome back to another episode of Stay Tuned Sports. It's your good friend Jimbo here, back again. Quiet week, kinda, as you hear my little Scentsy thingy going off. King's taking a little bit of a break. Hopefully we'll have him back, next week or whatever. But I mean, it is kind of the quiet season when it comes to sports. You got baseball, spring training going. Not too much talk about there. NFL, right now we're in the franchise tag window of teams have, I believe, up until next Tuesday, I think it is, like the 5th, to franchise their, any of their players that they want to do. But we have hockey season. I did catch a couple of Flyers games this past weekend. As well as last night, a little bit with the Tampa Bay Lightning before the lights went out. And surprisingly, they still played. But unfortunately, I had to go to bed early because of work. So kids, if you're listening, don't grow up. It's not worth it. Anyway, I'm actually going to a Flyers game this weekend, this Saturday, playing the Ottawa Senators. So hopefully I get to see them win this time compared to the Stadium Series, when they lost 6-3. I mean, overall the game was a good game. The score may not show that. As far as the game, I mean, 30 seconds in, we give up a breakaway goal, and you just can't do that. We had Harrison in there as our goaltender, and he is our rookie. Obviously, with all the stuff going on with Carter Hart, he's kind of been forced into that starting goalie role, taking a lot of load. And before that game, I mean, I think the Flyers were like 5-0-1. Lost that game, I believe, and then they lost against the Rangers. Close game. It was 2-1. But then they played the Penguins on Sunday afternoon, and what a shit show. Penguins won 7-6. Cal Peterson we would have been better off playing with 6 shooters out there and leave the empty net. Everything was going in on him, and just today they actually put him on waivers. So that experiment has pretty much failed. And during that Penguins game, we lost another player to injury, Jamie Drysdale. He's week to week, but the way that injury looked, it looked pretty bad. Possibly the same injury he had last year, where he missed all of the season. And, that day and a little bit of this whole week, I've been seeing on X, Flyers fans asking, do you think we stand pat with what we have, and if we make the playoffs, we make the playoffs, or do we still make moves to make our team better to go farther into the playoffs? And you know what? Like, pretty much the whole season up until this past week, I was like, let's make moves. Let's get some firepower in here, get a backup goaltender in here, so we could, go as far as we can in the playoffs, not just be a first round exit like we've been the past, couple times we made the playoffs. But I've changed my stance on that. I say any way that we can improve the future, whether it's trading Nick Seeler or Walker for draft picks or whatever, I say go for it. I hope they hold on to Scotty Lawton. I think he's a good player that you could keep on the team and not build around, but he helps gives that that little bit of attitude, that old Flyers mentality. And you also got to remember that we still have about 2 more years before our Flyers rookie that we drafted this year in the first round, who's lighting it up over in Russia. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name because I'll probably butcher the shit out of it. But over these next, 2 drafts, we could build, a young, talented group around him. Morgan Frost is playing very well. Joel Farabee is playing very well. We're playing good. It's just that hockey fans weren't expecting. Hockey fans weren't expecting the Flyers to be this competitive. And I mean, neither was I. I mean, if you go back and listen to in the very beginning of the season with, me and King just kind of like, preseason talk of hockey, I was expecting like dead last in the whole league, not be third in the division, and right now sitting to be in the playoffs. But yeah, so I mean, I would stand pat with what we have. Maybe bring up one of the goalies from Lehigh. I know we got Sandstrom still. I believe he's still down there. Maybe bring him up because Harrison's gonna need breaks. If we make the playoffs, we're gonna need him to be somewhat fresh. He can't. I think they said we have like 20 some games left. He can't play all 20 games. I mean, he's gonna need at least, I would say, 4 or 5 times he's sit out and have someone come in and start for them. Just so he is fresh in the playoffs, and you never know. This team may just put it all together and be like the underdogs that the Eagles were in 2017, the team that no one expected to go on and win everything. If that were to happen, if the Flyers were to go on and win the Stanley Cup, I'd be willing to bet you're never going to see King on here again. Just because I'll be throwing that in his face a lot leading up to the NFL season. But so that's my stance on the Flyers right now. They're playing, like I said, they're playing well. They had the 2 hiccups with the Rangers and that Penguins game. You can't even say that's a hiccup. That was just bad goaltending. I would probably put 2 or 3 of those goals on the goaltender, period, because there was one that he was leaning more towards the center of the net while looking. He had clear sight to the shooter, and the shooter just went top left and just easy shot. But so that's my stance on the Flyers for right now. Little football talk. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is being waived by the Chiefs, which I find funny because, okay, yes, he did drop a lot of passes last season for the Chiefs. He was supposed to be one of the bigger wide receiver names to help out that wide receiver crew. It didn't happen. But how are you going to keep Kadarius Toney on that team? I mean, he dropped just as many balls as Scantling. He had the infamous offsides play that ended up making the Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes touchdown not count. He's been nothing but drama the past 2 years with fighting with Giants fans on Instagram. Supposedly putting out another one saying that he's, the week before the Super Bowl, he's not hurt, that they're holding him out purposely and blah, 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 blah. So I don't know how you keep him on the team as well. That whole wide receiver room, I think, just has to get blown up. Maybe except for the young kid from last year. He, towards the end of the season, he did step up. So maybe that's a wide receiver that you could build the room around. as far as Philly goes, I'm trying not to talk as much about the Eagles because when I'm on here about myself, I want to still try to keep it as open to other teams as well. But I do got a comment about the Nick Sirianni report that I believe WIP came out and said that pretty much he was being favoritism towards certain players. He'd be more harsh on other players, this and that. He's still the same coach, same person as he was the year we went to Super Bowl. And no one was saying anything then. He was still, I'd be willing to bet, treating the players the same way. But unfortunately, when you're losing, everything gets magnified. Every little thing gets nitpicked. And it feels like WIP is just putting stories out there to just get clicks, just to get, downloads. I mean, Jesus Christ, AJ Brown, since the last time we recorded, had to go on WIP to clear the air because I guess when AJ Brown deactivated his X account, someone claimed that account name, acting like AJ Brown. And even though he even said in his one post, this new AJ Brown account, that I'm an AJ Brown fan, this is not AJ Brown himself. So all my, feelings, beliefs, sayings are strictly mine. And one of the last posts he said was, he basically said that the Philadelphia media, they need to start raising the prices for microphones so that way the Philadelphia media can't afford them and can't, bring up all this garbage that they've been bringing up. And everybody was going off the handle thinking it was the real AJ Brown, who came out on Instagram and said that it's not me, but this cat is cooking. I think was his exact words. And I mean, it was funny, but to clear the air, AJ Brown had to go on the radio station and explain his side of the story and basically said like he was one of the big leaders in that room. So when you see him yelling, screaming from the stands, yes, it looks like he's acting out because he's not getting the targets or whatever. But he's holding other players accountable as much as himself. So, yeah, it looks like that. Now you go to Nick Sirianni. I'd be willing to bet he's being harsh to some players. We know Jalen Hurts came out plenty of times and says he'd rather be yelled at, screamed at by Sirianni and coached hard. So if we see Sirianni screaming at him but not screaming at, Jason Kelce, there's a reason, because Sirianni knows who to really push and who to kind of, push a little bit but not so much. That's a head coach. So all this shit that the Philadelphia media is trying to stop. Because it's only going to carry into the preseason. It's only going to carry into the regular season. And we're back to square one how we were last year. You guys are only looking for somebody to get fired so you can say, see, told you so. Told you he was a cancer. When there's really no story there. You're just making up the drama. I actually had to stop. I had to block any type of stories that came from them or popped up on my feed or anything like that because I just got tired of seeing it. Like it's ridiculous. Did come out today that there are multiple teams interested in trading for Hassan Reddick, which if you're not getting a first round draft pick, don't trade him. He's looking for 25 a year. Philly is willing to do 20 to 22 a year. Yes, $3 million is a big number, but to me that is close enough they could work on something. I mean, shit, maybe Philly could say, okay, we'll give you 20 to 22 million average salary a year with $3 million of incentives, or even $4 million incentives. Give him that chance to get more than what he wanted. I mean, he's been a very good player the past 2 years, double-digit sacks the past 2 years. And last year he started slow because he was hurt and still made double-digit sacks. He's got to stay on this team. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I saw a mock trade that a team would give us a third and a fifth round, and we would give them Hassan Riddick and a third round. What the hell is that? I mean, after a third round, pretty much all the players are a crapshoot. Brock Purdy is just one of those guys that he's not a system quarterback, so I'm not saying that, but it just all comes together for him. Not an elite quarterback. I still don't believe he's an elite quarterback. I still think he's slightly better than a game manager, but he's not, to me, he's not a quarterback just yet that could take over a game and put the team on his shoulder. If that were the case, they would have been Super Bowl champions. But he just didn't really show that to me in the Super Bowl. Still waiting on Jason Kelce and Fletcher Cox's decision if they're going to want to play another year. Howie Roseman came out and said that he wants to, if they do want to play, he wants to figure out a way to keep them there, which I'm totally for. I think another year with Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis, that whole defensive line with this new defensive coordinator, I think we'll be back to how we were in 2021. Jalen Carter. I don't know why I forgot his name. So, I mean, that's my Philadelphia talk there. We got the scouting combine going on right now. I used to like to watch that. I used to like mostly the wide receivers and tight ends, like the guys that catch the ball. Haven't watched it the past couple of years. So maybe this weekend, once I'm home, relaxing, maybe Sunday I'll watch a little bit of it. Because like I said, Friday I'm racing at night. Make sure you guys head over to YouTube, look up Chop Shop Racing. That's the league I race in now. Hopefully I could last the whole race and not get wrecked out like Daytona. Last week I tried to practice a little bit and I just couldn't keep the car straight. So I was like, I'm not gonna ruin somebody's race tonight. I'll just sit back, relax, and watch the talented ones do it. Let me see. So what else? Not really. Like I said, it's a slow week. Not really much to talk about. Just want to come on and talk about the smaller stories, I guess, if you want to call it that. So I think that's gonna be it for this week. I know I said I was gonna do a live show last week, but just things came up. Won't be able to do one this weekend. I will be live streaming me racing, so make sure you head over to my Twitch, Jimbo ST Sports. You could see how it looks from the inside, or you can watch on YouTube. Watch the Chop Shop Racing, the broadcast there where they show all the cars. Make sure, and when you do go over to our YouTube channel, make sure you guys subscribe and like our videos. Make sure your notifications are on so you get the little pop-up when there's any type of new videos. I know when there's breaking news, King likes to do little quick short feeds so you guys could watch that and stay tuned. So till next week, this is your good friend Jimbo signing out.